Hi all. So today I am going to share some steps or some guidance about how we can easily create a like local development environment, or you can say home lab, or you can say demo server, UAT servers, whatsoever you can say, like some end-to-end solution where you can deploy your code, you can you can build your code, you can convert your code into a like Docker image, you can store it, and then finally run it. So I will try to cover the end-to-end step, like from installation to configuration, and obviously the automation part. So let's jump into the real thing. First, let me demonstrate you what we are going to discuss today. So today we will create a server. The server is already there. That server can be, obviously it's a Linux server. So it can be in your local environment. It can be your some well-known cloud provider like AWS or GCP, or it can be a VPS. So all I need the connectivity. If you are trying to if you are need to expose this thing to the external world, then you need a public IP, or the public IP connectivity. That can be any, there are so many ways. So that's not today's topic. So let's not jump into that part. The main thing is I need the connectivity. That's the primary thing. So what the main thing will be, the what will be the inside the server. So let's say this is a server. So first thing inside the server, we will have a Docker setup. So inside the Docker, we will run a Docker repository. So it will be not like the normal Docker registry. It will be a separate registry with some added feature. Then we will run a Jenkins. It will be our CI/CD tool. Then we will host some repository in public GitHub, and inside that this registry, inside this Docker, we will also run our application. We will have some domain name that is optional, but I will show you. And we will just proxy our domain, or we will host the DNS of our domain inside the Cloudflare. So the connectivity will something like this. Let's say this is the user. So then the user will commit the code into that public GitHub repository. Then this public GitHub repository through Cloudflare, it will initiate the pipeline into Jenkins. The Jenkins will build the image. It will push the image into this repository, and it will also spin up our application automatically from this repository, obviously. Then we will able to access our application through the public IP or the private IP, depend on your setup, or using the domain name from anywhere. Additionally, we will see like how we can expose the repository to everyone. Let's say this is your client, or this is the main target system, which is sitting anywhere, and this system will also able to pull the image from this repository. Okay, so let's start. I have already set it up as server, so I'm not going to discuss about how to spin up a VM in some cloud environment. There are like thousands of videos are there, and it really depends on like which cloud provider you are using. For GCP it's different, for AWS it's different. Maybe you can have some small VPS kind of thing. And also don't get confused with this fancy shell. I just love this cell. I installed ZSH, this is called. That is also like something you can easily download and install. So let me show you what version of the operating system I am using. So I am using this Rocky Linux 9.6, and the steps are same. To follow this tutorial, it's not necessarily you need to use that same 9.6. You can use any same kind of similar kind of Linux distro, like that can be some CentOS, that can be Alma Linux, that can be 8 release 8 release 10 release same. So steps are almost same. Okay. So let's start with the Docker setup first. So just to save some time, I have just written the Docker installation command, but you can, but those comments are like easily you can uh, get it from the Docker website. Let me show you. Docker install Docker engine. Then you can just need to choose the OS family. Since we are using the RHL family OS, or you can the CentOS and RHL, the comments are almost same. You can select any. So here in the CentOS 9, these are the set of command you can easily find. Anyways, I have just like consolidate those comments to save time. Let's first run this. It will just install some additional plugin of the DNF. DNF is our package manager. So here I am just adding the Docker repository to pull the Docker RPM. So this is the real thing. It's going to install the Docker. It may take some time, depend on the internet connectivity, but look like this in this VPS, I have a good speed. Yeah, it's almost done. So don't get confused about this command, because there's plugins, this name may change over the time. But let me explain a bit about those packages. So this is the main core packages. This is just a client library. This is the main runtime. These three are the main thing you can say. The buildx plugin is required to build your image. The compose plugin is another beautiful thing where you can orchestrate your Docker package. We'll see the compose later. Okay, it's completed. Now let me start the Docker. Um, let's hope it started. Let's see. Systemctl status Docker. Yes. If I run basic Docker command like Docker ps, nothing is running as expected. Okay, so managing Docker through the CLI may be bit frustrating. So let me install another tool inside the Docker, so which will give us a like just a web UI of the Docker. This part is again completely optional. I am creating one volume just to persist the data. It's up to you. If you are comfortable with CLI, you're welcome to use CLI. But additionally, you can just install this. This is a open source tool. Okay, look like it's up. Yes. Since this is a VPS and I have this public IP, let's try to open it. What are my IP? It's 212.2.253.165, and the port number is 8 okay, no, 9443. Let's see. Oh, sorry, think there was some typo. Yeah, 212. Okay, I missed the dot. Now I missed the port number as well. Okay, 9443. Okay, it's HTTPS. Good. see. I have expected some self-signed certificate. That's okay. Okay, it's up. So it's just asking you to set some initial password. Okay, 12 character long. Great, we are in. So now we need to add an environment. So from this tool, it doesn't necessarily you can't monitor only standalone Docker. You can monitor a full-scale Kubernetes cluster as well. It also supports Podman. So for us, it's Docker standalone. Start. Okay, that part is already there. So I not need to agent because we are just monitoring the local one. So the socket is fine. Let's close it and it's up. So this is the local one. So that's why just I tried the socket. But if you, let's say you have multiple Docker environment and you are trying to use this tool for monitoring all from the single hood, you can easily do it. Let's connect. Wait, well, it's connected. So here we can see currently it have only one image and it's running one container, only this. So expectation is when we will deploy our application, we can easily see my application from here. Okay, uh, let it be there. Now let's jump into the next thing. So if I go back to our diagram, let's see. Okay, so okay, I closed it. Okay, we have now our Docker is up and running. Now it's time to install the Jenkins. So again, the Jenkins installation is also it's very straightforward, very easy. You can just simply go to the Jenkins website and you can just choose your distro and follow the step. Uh, let's select Linux, then the Red Hat, and this nothing else. So okay, let's copy it from here this time. Maybe just create a small cell file. You can optionally just paste one by one, no issue. I'm just trying to save some time and run this. Oh, wget is not there. Okay, let me install. So wget is a CLI utility to download something. DNF install wget. Yes. So those who are new to Linux, DNF is a package manager. Earlier we used to have yum. So in the new version of RHEL, we have the DNF. But here also we can use the yum, no issue. So it depends on the operating system. Actually, if you use Ubuntu, it's apt. Okay, if you use Fedora, I think it's Zyper. Oh, sorry, just for the SUSE, it's Zyper. So it depends. There are few, but the purpose or the main thing is same. It's just to download the package with all its dependency. So now, just like I'm now installing wget. So this is again an additional step. You might have a server where wget is already installed. But since this is a new server, I just spinned up for this video. So nothing is there actually. It's a blank one. Okay, just about to finish. You can see that it's another beautiful thing about Linux. It doesn't complain about the missing package. It search for them and try to install them automatically. Okay, it's done. Okay, now let me try to fire this command again. Now it's working. Okay, again -y for yes. Let it install. Well, look like it's going to take some time. Let me maybe pause since then. Okay, now it's installed. So let's see what was the written. There you can see it's just automated. I did nothing here. Let's see what was written on the script. So it's imported the repository file to an upgrade. And as I said that see it's written yum. So the DNF yum both works with the latest RHL package, RHL OS actually. So it just installed Java, then it installed Jenkins, and it did the systemctl demand reload. Means it's installed some service file actually. Okay, let's try to start it and hope it will start. Systemctl start Jenkins. Going to take some time. Okay, let's check the status. It's up. Okay, let me make it enable. So like after your VM reboot, it will automatically start itself. Okay, now we can access it from GUI. Now the question is, what is the port number? I know it's 8080 since we are using HTTP, it's the default one. But the question is how we can find it. So the process might not be new, those who are familiar with Linux, but for those who are new, let me show you. So there is a beautiful command with netset. Okay, first I need to run this command ps-ef. This command is for like listing all the process. And now let me filter with grep Jenkins. It's like enough. Jen is fine enough. So I can find this ID. Now there is a beautiful comment called netstat. So maybe that one is not installed by default. If it's not, you can install it with this command dnf install or yam install net tools. Mm, yes, for me it's already installed. So let me try netstat. Yeah, I don't know why it's taking this underscore hyphen TLNUP pipe again grep, then this process ID, and see you can see it's running on the 8080. Let's try to access it. Okay, let me duplicate it for the IP. Now port 8080 and make it HTTP. You can easily enable HTTPS if needed. That's not a big thing. Okay, now Jenkins doesn't really comes with some default password. Actually, it's generate randomly. So we just need to copy this file name and using anything like cat is fine enough. And here, this is the initial password. Okay, let me copy, paste, continue. Okay, now it's going to ask like install suggested plugin or you can select. It's up to you. You can go with this as well. Let me try to select some. Okay. Let me install there is a plugin for Git, GitHub plugin. Okay. What I need else? I need Open View or Ocean View. Sorry. So Ocean View again. It's just a plugin. Okay. Let make it. We will install it later while we will configure the that pipeline. For us now, GitLab is there, SSH is okay, PAM, LDAP I don't need. Notification also I don't need, unnecessary, it will take time. Dark theme, let it be. Uh, Git plugin is there. Parameter is trigger. Okay. Pipeline is there. JUnit if you are working with some Java code. Okay. And I don't need Gradle. I don't need, since I'm not doing anything like Java related thing. SSH agent. Let it be dashboard view. Okay. I think that's fine enough. Maybe one more for the name, that is like ocean. Okay, let's keep it for now. Okay, so again, it's look like going to take some time. Oh, not, it's done. Great. Now we need to like create your first admin user. So again, you can just skip it and you can use the default admin user with that long password, and then you can easily just change it. But let's create another user, maybe like CI/CD admin password. Let's write some password for full name. Save and continue. Okay, some email address is required. Let's write anything. Okay. So that URL. So currently that's okay, but if you are like using some device proxy or some domain name, then it's good to configure here. For me, it's fine enough. Save and finish. And now start using Jenkins. Great, it's done. Okay, now we have our Jenkins up and running. So let's install the other plugin. Let's go to the manage Jenkins and then plugins. It's inside the, yeah, here. Okay, let's go to available plugin and let's look for the missing one. I was looking for, it's called Blue Ocean. Again, the Blue Ocean is also like optional one. It's just provide you a uh, nice formatted UI to observe your pipeline job. Okay, let's select this, install, restart Jenkins. Okay, now there is nothing pending on Jenkins as of now. Now let's jump into the next thing. Now let's set up our repository for the Docker to store the Docker image. So for this, we are going to use a Docker repository. Again, this is optional. You can use the default Docker registry as well, but there are so many reasons I love this one. This is open source and it comes with a lots of additional advantage. So there is a tool called Harvard. So this is just an open source Docker registry. You can store your Docker images here. So let's start. So again, I instead of just copy paste those command from some unknown source, let's try to follow the official document only. Deploying this prerequisite, we already have made the prerequisite. So just going to that Harvan installation, go to this release page. Now let's copy the URL for this offline installer. Okay, first let's create a directory, maybe dir dd server wget URL. Doesn't look like will take much time. It's just seconds. Okay, till then let's discuss some important thing. So for the Docker repository, the SSL is good to have. Anyways, there are some complicated steps are there if you are just really want to skip the SSL. But if you have a SSL certificate, it's good. It will be much easier. So now let's talk about the SSL certificate. Again, you can, it's completely depend on the requirement. You can have your own self-signed certificate, and then there are some additional step you need to perform to allow or to use the self-signed certificate. But here I'm going to show you one another easy free step where you can have like a full-fledged CS signed SSL certificate just free. We are going to use Cloudflare here. So okay, it's downloaded. Let's not do the step jump. Let me extract it fast. Tar hyphen jet xvf, then hardbar. Okay, it's extracting. Okay, it's extracted. Let's go here. Okay, first thing, you need to move this file or rename this file from this to this. Now let's go to the Cloudflare. So I'm not going to that, like show you the step how to create your account. So those are like normal thing you can do it by yourself, or there are lots of YouTube videos are there. But for this step, you definitely need a domain name. I have one. I just mapped it. The mapping is also very easy. Obviously, the steps are different for all the provider. Like my domain is hosted on Crazy Domain website. Let me log in here. Okay, I have logged in. So the only thing you need to do, you need to change the name server to this. Again, that might be different, like Cloudflare might update it, but usually from the Cloudflare dashboard, you can see you need to just change the host name. Then here you need to go to this add domain, just uh, type your domain name. Okay, like just type something. Since I have added my domain, just quick scan. Now it will obviously going to fail. There is no domain, I believe. Okay, and you just need to select the plan, and now then you need to click the finish setup, and it will do some handshaking, and then it's done. So let me go back. So after you configure your domain, you just need to select the domain and go to the DNS page here. So here, now you need to first create some A record. A record is nothing but just a host name. So first, let me a root A record, and the IP address will be this. Let me copy, save, sorry. Okay, now let's create some host record. Let's say like a repo, maybe. Yes. Same IPv4 address, and make sure this is enabled. So this setting will inject that free SSL certificate. Okay. So click save. Now we need to go to the SSL Then let's go. We need to go to this client certificate. So you need to create one, create certificate, create, and you need to copy them. Okay, let me do one thing here. Let me create another folder called SSL, ETSSL. Now vi repo dot sub dot co dot in dot cer Then I paste this part, begin certificate, save it, create another file with the extension .key. So this is the private key. Copy it, paste. So what it does basically, this one is just like an SSL certificate which will be there between the Cloudflare and your system, and that's why it is called like an client certificate. But in the endpoint, you will not going to get this certificate. You will get a proper like CSI certificate. Okay, so Cloudflare part is done. Now let's come back here again. Cd dot dot. Let's open the template file harvard dot. I think it's this harvard dot yml. Okay. Now here, this is the important thing, host name. You need to mention the domain name here. Again, the domain name, this thing is completely optional. If you don't have the domain name, you can just you can go with your self-signed certificate and that static IP. But just you need to do some additional thing on the Docker client, nothing else. Let's write the host name repo.gustav.co.in. Okay, and one more only thing we need to define here, the certificate path. Okay, let me do the pwd root hardware. Okay, then repo.gustav.co.in.cer. Oh, sorry, my bad. It's supposed to be CRT. Okay, no issue. We need to rename the file also. Key. Okay, now the hardware admin password. This is the default one. You can either change it here or you can change it later as well. Let's change it here only. Let's say my password 12345, and rest of the thing is okay. The default options are fine enough. Okay, it's done. Let me go to the SSL directory once. Let me rename this file from CER to CRT. Okay, now let's go back again. Cd dot dot. Now there is a script called prepare. So first let me run prepare hyphen hyphen help. Okay, help is not there. Okay, no issue. Uh, we can only run dot prepare, but I am going to run it with some additional parameter called prepare with Trivi. So Trivi is basically a image scanning tool. Let me just copy the command, maybe prepared with Trivi. Mm, with Trivi. Clear one is the another one. You can welcome to explore, but Trivi is fine enough. Okay. So it is pulling some images. Basically, it will prepare your system and it will generate the Docker Compose file. So for those who don't know what the Docker Compose is, see, the Docker Compose is just like a script, you can say, or some orchestration. Okay, wait, let me see. It's showing. Oh, I think I have written wrong path. Yeah, I forgot to add the SSL. Okay. Now it should run. Okay, so the Docker Compose is basically it's just like a script or orchestrator. So basically in the Docker Compose file, you can see all the Docker related thing like the number of images, number of service, number of networks, everything will be there. So we can see the output. It's generated. Let's open it. It will be easy for to understand. It's generated this. Uh, let's open and see what is basically written there. Here, as I said, you can see that there are a couple of services, the log, registry, registry CTL, and each service, just like retain all the images and all. So obviously you can run all of them manually, but it's just like a automation kind of thing. So to run this, we just need to run one single command Docker Compose up. But before that, let me go back to the manual again. We have done this. So configure HTTPS thing. So as I said, if you don't have any domain name and you don't really care about that SSL part, you can just like generate your own certificate. So the steps are written there already. But since we have the certificate, I'm skipping those. I'm just jumping here. So we need to perform this additional thing. We need to just create one CERT file from the CRT file. So let me go to the SSL directory again, and let me just copy the command as is and just change the name. Okay, yes, it's created. Now we just need to copy those three files into Docker directory actually. This two actually, the CSR we don't have. It's sometimes like if you are using some CSI certificate, you will have this chain certificate. I don't have. Let me see if the directories are there at all. No, it's not there. Let me create it first. Okay, now I can copy this to this. Let's see. Yes. Now we need to restart the Docker. Basically, this is required for the Nginx is there is some Nginx is running there as part of this Harvard stack for this. The document from the documentation you can see why this step is needed. So anyways, we have the SSL part done. We have done the prepare. Now we just need to start it with this command. Okay. Before it start, let me open the UI again. Okay, it's logged out. Here I can see it is one container running, right? Okay, let's spin it up. There you can see it's doing 10 thing. It's spinning up 10 container trivia adapter, Redis for caching, code, job service, registry, database, log, proxy, and it's doing 69 tasks. So the Docker Compose is saving you to perform 69 manual tasks basically. So it's not only pulling, doing lots of thing actually. And it's going to take some time. Let's take it. Okay, no, I think it's done almost. Let's not take the pause. Image pooling will take time basically. We can just refresh it. Oh, see, the image is now 9. Okay. No, this Redis is taking time. Okay, it's started. Great. So let me go back here again. Now we have 10 volumes, 11 container. See, some are starting, some are not started yet. Let me refresh. Actually, refresh is not needed. This section refresh itself automatically. So till then, let me show you the advantage of this GUI. From here, you can directly inspect. You can directly see the logs. Again, those everything you can done from CLI as well. Just those who are not comfortable with CLI, use this. See, all are now healthy. So I hope I will not, I will now be able to access my repo. So I will try to access via the A record I created. Let's see. So this was my A record, repo.gustav.co.in. Let's see what does. Mhm, not coming. Okay, let's see. Think it's certificate. Okay, let it be full. Full stick is not needed actually. I made those changes for some other thing. Don't worry about those changes. I just made some changes from the default one. The default one is the full only. Okay, it's up. Oh, I forgot what the password I had set. Let me see. The password was this. Okay, let me try to log in. Okay, so we are inside the registry. So those who are familiar with the default Docker registry, I think you people got your answer why I choose the hardware. The first benefit is hardware comes with a beautiful GUI with the option to create user, create project, automate rule, automated scanning, automated SBOM creation. There are lots actually. You can explore. You can see how many options are there. So first, let's start with some new project. Let's create a project that's called app, maybe. Let's not make it public. Some quota you can define maybe like 10 GB or maybe unlimited if you just make it like hyphen zero. Okay. Now it's created. Now let's create some user. New user. Maybe the username is app, email, something, app, password, app@1234. Okay. So now I created one user and I have one project. Now I need to map the user with this project. The member, if I create user, and now if I type app, you see it's came. Now project admin, maintainer or developer, usually to pull and push image, developer role is fine enough. Or you can like choose whatever you need it. but the developer is fine enough. Okay, now just let me maybe log out from here. And let me try to log in with the other user, and you can easily see the difference. Now I don't have option to create project. I don't have so many options. I can just see my project and the summary. So since I have I didn't post any image, there is nothing. Okay, now we have our CI/CD up and running, we have our Docker up and running, we have our repository up and running. Now it's some coding time. So I have created some blank repository called this demo, and I have already initialized this repository using the Git desktop, and I'm not going to like in the steps. It's well known, and if you don't know how to like create some repository and how to map it, there are like lots of resource available. So let me open it in a VS Code. Basically, it will start the VS Code in the directory where I pulled the repository. As I said, supposed to nothing, blank. Okay, so what I am going to write? So I will just spin up a simple Nginx image with some HTML file. So first let's start with this index.html, and as we are not learning HTML here, let's AI do its job. I closed it by mistake. It's back. So index HTML, as I said, let's say I write some beautiful HTML. Write a page with some CSS and text. Let's say hi. Okay, let's see what it generate. Taking time. Okay, I think it's fine enough. Okay, now we need to write something called Docker file. So what is Docker file? Docker file is basically a file where we write the command or the steps to create a Docker image. Okay, so Docker image is another question is what is Docker image? So again, like as this is not the topic of our current video, but the Docker image, like you can say it's the image or it's just like a VM which is holding your code. So I am just writing a very basic Docker image. I need to first mention some base image like or the template you can say where it will create. So I am going to use nginx mm, colon alpine version maybe. Okay. Now I am going to copy the index.html to the default directory. Yes. Now then just expose 80. Now some cmd to start. Fine. This 4 line of code is fine enough to just spin up a simple nginx image. Now I need to write the compose file. We already know what the Docker compose file is. But time I'm just going to write it. The naming convention doesn't necessarily you need to write in this way only. Okay, in the Docker file also the D is capital. But if you keep the file with the same name, you not need to pass the file name in comment. It will pick up automatically. So just to make things simple, I'm writing the similar name actually. RCOMPOAZ docker compose dot yml. Okay, so it will start with some version. It's API version of Docker. Okay, I have some plugins, so that is basically suggesting some image, but okay, let's skip it. Let's write service. Uh, there will be some image, but here, since we are going to do with the CI/CD, let me make it um, variable. I don't need those things. I need the port, obviously. So the 8080, okay, 8080, we know the Jenkins is using the same port, so let's make it 8081. Environment, we don't need. Volume, we don't need. Network also, we don't need. So let me pass another one called container name. Oh, this is optional. If you don't pass it, Docker will automatically give some container name. And let me pass some restart command. So what basically it means, unless it's manually marked as a stop, when the system starts or Docker restarted, the container will start automatically. Okay, so we have the Docker compose file as well. Now it's time to do the CI/CD thing. So now we need to create another file for the Jenkins files. Just to save time, I already prepared the file. So that file might look scary, but it's very simple. So okay, okay. Let me explain. So this is a pipeline. So pipeline tags are there. I will suggest the extension. From the extension you install, there is extension called Jenkins, I think Gen yes, Jenkins file support. You better install it fast. Okay, so then just apply pipeline block. Inside the pipeline block, agent any. Although we don't have any agents, means the remote agents installed. So the trigger GitHub push, this is important to for the CI/CD. In the environment, I need to pass the URL, the repository, and the Docker repository. So this was my URL and this was my project name. Okay, now in the clone repo, this is one pipeline stage. So these are the stages you can see. The first stage is cloning repo. I am just cloning the repo with those environmental variable, grid branch, URL, and credential is not required since it's my public repository. But if you are using some private repository, you can just create some PAT, personal access token, and from the Jenkins, you can create the credentials. So how to create the credentials, I will show it. Okay, for me, the credential is not needed. Now we are in the stage. So I am just fetching the last commit ID. I am creating the image name dynamically with the same name full tag. Here you can see which I mentioned in that compose file. Okay. So here again we need some credentials for the Docker repository. Okay. Now let me show you how we can create credentials. Okay. In the Jenkins, so we need to go to the manage Jenkins. Then in the credential, click the system, click the global credential, click add credentials. So it will be like username with password. The username will be this hardware username. Password will be hardware password and some ID. So let me see what ID I was written. I written like Docker. Okay, just pass the same name. That's it. You have the credential created. Okay. So here, just in the credential, and then Docker user is will be the username. Think it's defined somewhere. Okay. The username will be for me uh app. Oh, so the Docker user and Docker password will be taken from the store credentials here. Okay, so now let there are some couple of shell command. I'm just logging the Docker repo, then just building the image, pushing the image, removing the image, and doing the logout. Then just starting the image using the compose file. You can see we are just running Docker compose up, and we are exporting the same full tag. Okay. So now before I commit, let me do some more changes. Okay, here. mm, Let me log into the Git. Just give me a minute. Okay, this is my repository. So we need to go to the setting. Then we need to go to webhook. So inside webhook, we need to pass the IP address of the Jenkins. Let me copy. Let's do add webhook. It is HTTP. SSL is disable. We don't need SSL. Application type is this. Okay. And then in the slash, we need to pass this GitHub webhook. Okay. So basically, it means whenever we push something in the Git, it will basically like notify the Jenkins via this URL that it's done, like it's pushed, so it will trigger. Okay, like click the add webhook, it's done. Okay, now we need to go back to the Jenkins to prepare. Okay, so we are in the Jenkins. In the Jenkins, it's just simply we need to go to new item, some pipeline name, type will be pipeline. Okay, there are some options you can play with, like this, how many numbers of build you need to keep, like this, some throttling. But the main interesting thing is this GitHub hook trigger. This option will responsible to handle the webhook trigger and will automatically start the project. Okay, now as we have written our pipeline script inside our main repository, so we just need to select pipeline script from SCM. Here I need to select Git. I need to pass the repository URL. Okay. As there is no error, means it's connected. Now here I need to define the branch name, or I can keep it blank for any. Let's make it blank. I only have only one branch so far. This is something important, that script path. Since we are using the same name, so it's fine. Okay, that's it. Click save. So it's created. Now we need to trigger it. So we can run it manually, but let's do it to the CI/CD. So let's make some changes here. Maybe add another line. Actually, I was just testing my code, so I did some commit already. Let me make a fresh commit again. Say CI/CD testing. Okay, it's done. So again, the commit part might different for you. You can use GitHub Desktop. You can use GitHub CLI. I'll have to use I'll have to use this inbuilt plugin of VS Code. Look like it's committed. Let's see if it triggers automatically. Yeah, it's triggered. See. Let's see. Oh, it's failed. Let's see why. Okay, we need to pass something here. Look like no issue. Oh, let's just go to configure in the branch name. I think maybe delete it and let's create it and pass the branch. Delete pipeline. New item. App pipeline. Okay. The repository name. The branch is main. Okay. Save. Let's do some commit again. I don't know how the page is going to look like. The ICT test. Let's sync the local commit with the remote branch. Mm, yes, it started. Let's go to the console output. This plugin we installed, it's basically shows a good view, but it's take lots of time to initialize first time. I don't know I will be able to cover it or not. Oh, it's going good. You can see so far no error. Let's do it stop. Image also pushed. Oh, it's success. It's done. Great. Now let's go to the UI first. See, it was only one stack. Now it's another one. App has came. We have one container running with this image with some published port. Now let's go to the hardware ones. The app, it was nothing. Now I'm expecting to see some image. Yes, there are some image. Okay, I think this is the latest one. Okay. There is some option I told that scanning and see those things can be done. So I think I have not sufficient permissions. So let me log into the admin. And again, I forgot the password. Copy. So again, these are some additional step. It doesn't necessary to scan the image or generate the SBOM, but since we are using hardware, let me show you why hardware. Just scan, generate SBOM. It takes some time. Let it do its job. Let's go here. Let me try to access it. Okay, it's working. So that's it. Now let me show you the real fun of CI/CD. Mm, Let me do some changes again, and let's say write it like CI/CD. Okay, let's commit it. So the hard part was done. That was one time effort. Now it's seamless. Just do the changes, commit, and wait. Come back, see. Basically, you not need to come back. It will do its stuff automatically. Okay. So it's committed. Think it's a task as yes. Started. Okay. Started. It's doing its job. And it doesn't mm, need to log in. If you don't log in, even you just commit and just leave your seat, had a cup of coffee and back, it will automatically do its job. Now, if I just simply refresh it, say it's done. It the CI/CD plugin itself cloned, build your image and updated the stack. So, so we are almost at the end of this tutorial. Only one thing left, that you remember that we initiated the scanning for the post image, but since that image was very basic one and doesn't have uh, to doesn't have any vulnerability to understand the showcase, so I am now showing the output from some of my other projects, some of my other images. So to check the report, you need to come to this menu after login via admin user, that this one. And here, you if you have multiple project, you can see all the images are there. Let me select one and see this. The vulnerability scanning report is something like this. Okay, here you can filter via the repository name, some images if you want. uh, so you can see there are lots of vulnerability reported. It's 66 page long, but it doesn't necessarily that we need to really fix or take care all of them. Let's filter it out maybe with severity first. Okay, filter by severity, and let's see, you will only focus the critical one. Usually the low info, those can be skipped. Usually as per industry standard, we usually take care of about these three. So first let's start with the critical one, and we can see there are only three critical vulnerability. Let's see. Okay, mini Jeep. Actually, this application is some PHP related thing, so there are some vulnerability related with those PHP related library. But sometimes some vulnerability are very new. There are no remedy available, and most of the time those are like really affect your application. Okay, like I can see there are some library related thing. You can just click here, so it will show you about the details of this vulnerability. Okay, what it can do. So it's about your application, and it's really about your use case. You need to decide that what need to be done for this vulnerability. And there is another thing called is bomb. Let me see where it is generated. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I think that report also generated. Just let me pull it up. And now the another thing, uh, if you remember that I was talking about some plugins of Jenkins called OpenView. So it was not initialized, and there was nothing much in our current project. So here also I am showcasing how beautiful it is from some other project of mine. So here these are the like run it's or the build process it's done. If I click one, we can see that each steps are like nicely showcased. You can just like open close kind of thing as they are beautifully written. Here you can just quickly inspect those the output. It's just like, as I said, it's just good to have kind of thing. If you are okay with the default Jenkins view, it's okay. Otherwise, you can have it. So that's all for today. Hope it was clear. If you guys faced any issue, please let me know in comment. I will try to help. Thank you.